Good morning. This is really going to be an interesting reading today. By the way, thank you to the new subscribers. And boy, I had a lot of people looking at that last video. It's so interesting. There's no way to predict if I'm going to have 25 people look at a video or 600. And I look at them and I don't know what the difference is. To be honest, I feel like some of the ones that didn't have as many viewers were some of my best readings. But there you go. You know what? I'm I've trained as an artist in university, and in artist circles, they say as soon as an art piece, whatever genre, is presented to the public, the artist dies. And what that means is that as soon as other people are exposed to what you do, your intention, what the painting means to you, what the reading means to you, dies, because every other person who sees it brings to that their own interpretation based on their own life experience. And obviously it's the same with these readings. So I'm finding this to be a really interesting process. Anyhow, this morning, quite frankly, I did not feel like doing a reading at all. I just feel kind of weird and a little bit yucky. And you know when you wake up and you know you've been dreaming, but you don't remember it, and you just feel like, what? And so it's like, ugh, okay, I'll do it. And so this happens often, and this is going to be applicable to some of the cards that have come out. But often, I'll have decks ready to go, and I'll start into them, and Spirit will say, no, it's not that one. It's this one that's over in the other room. And you're like, ugh, I don't want to go get that one. And it's like, I'm telling you, and you'll be shuffling the deck and nothing comes out. It's like, fine. So you go and get the other decks and come out and boom, So that's what happened today. Off the bat, we get volcano, volatility, shape-shifting clouds, the invocation of ceremony. This is crazy. And synergy. Green Man, beginning again. Just as I was looking at these cards, and again, I do the oracle cards before I turn the camera on, just to save some time and to help me kind of to meditate on what they have to say to me. Before I bring you guys in. But right off the bat, volatility, right off the bat, boom, like shit's hitting the fan, right? And sure enough, and when you read into the book, like with this card, volatility, it talks about the volcano, Pele in Hawaii, and, that the lava just constantly streams out, and it creates new life forms, or new earth masses, right? This is a little bit like the Tower card. There needs to be an explosion. And Spirit is just telling me that in this case, it may be unexpected. Or, Spirit, or that there's stuff that's been bubbling up to the surface and you've been working really hard to push it down. And that might be brought about, by a quarantine, by the, stresses that we're under, having to spend time with people that you've just been trying to, just maintain, and you haven't been able to. This volatility creates a situation where things change, and you need to change too. This card encourages us to present ourselves to the world differently. This would be, if you've always worn a lot of makeup, see what happens if you go without. Like a lot of us have. I mean, I never wear makeup, but or for somebody like me that never wears makeup, to present ourselves to the world made up, or to just change a little, and not just change for change's sake, but this volatility is going to make us reevaluate things, not just how we have been looking at our world, but how we present ourselves to the world. The Spirit just has a voice come through to me. It's like, but you never knew me at all. So we'll see what the cards have to say. I'm wondering, anyway. So this shape-shifting Spirit is encouraging you to, I mean always, but Spirit wants you to, that maybe you have put your, in your busyness, that maybe you have set spiritual things aside. That your connection to Spirit, to God, to Buddha, to Muhammad, to whatever, that you've been disconnected. And that you've sensed that loss, but the busyness has been really poison for you. You've used the busyness to help you keep things pushed down. But what that's really done has been created a pressure cooker, So then we're set in a situation like this, and right. So at the same time, the busyness that you've been using to hold everything together has separated you from the source of your strength. Do you see the irony in that? So this is blown. This has shown up in our other readings. This is blown. You need to now figure out who you are. And if you've been wearing a mask, take the mask off and just be. To connect to Spirit. Okay? And this isn't to tell Spirit what to do. By the way. This isn't to tell Spirit what to do. This is to create ceremony, to sit down, whatever helps you. Sometimes just to be quiet. Some people like their candles and their incense and, that whole thing. We're in an area where we are with a lot of First Nations people, and they have a lot of traditional ceremony, which, there's the most beautiful 2 little pair of chickadees outside. Yes, I'm easily distracted, but maybe... Anyway, First Nations, and they have a lot of ceremony, sweat lodges, sun dances. Honestly, the Canadian First Nations were so blessed to have friends and family in that community and to be part of that. Because the ceremony itself can be healing. Those new rules, that connection to Spirit, can be healing in itself. So, something's just telling me shit's hit the fan. So I was going to use the Viking Tarot again. And Spirit said no. And did you see that card? It just kind of flung out. Okay. Holy doodle. So what's going on, Spirit? So, like I've said before, I don't ask for anything specific, any specific storyline, or, like what's going on with the Karmic, or what's going on, even though those are the ones that usually get me the most views. I'm not really interested in that. I really just feel like I'm a conduit for what Spirit wants to tell the people who are drawn to this channel, because nothing is a mistake. And so that's really interesting. The Lovers. What about them? Queen of Wands. See, there's 2 lions there. What's the masculine? Who's the masculine? Who's masculine in this, Spirit? What you got to tell us? What you got to... Obviously, there's something new. What you got to tell us? See, I tried to hold that one in, and he said no. The Chariot. Okay, well, who's... What about the masculine in this, then? I see the feminine. That's the masculine. So that's why I like to... Ace of Cups. Eight of Cups. And Strength. Okay, so asking about the masculine, we got the Chariot, the Ace of Wands. So there seems to be a lot more going on with masculine than the feminine. I mean, what's going on? Boom. Queen of Wands. 1 card. What's going on with masculine? No, it made it work for it. Made us work for it. So things are going to happen quickly. He's flying away. You know, to start over. He's flying away to start over. Spirit just said he's dreaming of you. He's dreaming of you. He's walked away and he's not going back. Though there might be, I mean, anytime you leave a situation, even if it's a bad situation, it's a situation that you're used to. And even in leaving that situation, you're often a codependent, this is often a codependent person that's left a bad situation. Even when you've left something really bad, that to everybody else looks like just awful, that person's going to look back. So, I mean, this is what was resonating in my last reading on Friday. You know, you're going to need to be strong. He's going to need to be strong. Infinitely strong. See the 8? Infinitely strong. Ace of Swords on the bottom. I had the deck upside down, which is weird. It's so funny just now, it almost looked like a skull in here, so don't be surprised if a death card comes out. Okay, Spirit. What else? What else do you have to tell us? I mean, that Lover's card comes flying out. Oh, there's a Tower at the bottom. What else do you have to tell us? Tower happened. Then the next one's a World. Do I take it? Spirit. Spirit says not yet. Okay. So what's been going on? Tower. For whom? Who had the Tower moment? Just because, I mean, the storyline has been that it's been the masculine. But I don't like to make assumptions. The Emperor. Okay, for whom? Okay. Now, I almost feel like this reading is for me. But anyway. But, I mean, if it's for me, it's for you. And the artist is dead when this is done, right? I just want to see what the book says about this 5 of Swords card here. 3 of Swords, 2 of Swords, 6. Yeah, okay. Okay, so the Tower, right, and I asked, Is this the masculine or the feminine? Boom. Emperor, right? It's the masculine. And, I mean, this is an emperor. But he's been fighting really hard. Okay, and I don't know how to interpret what they just said to me. It's like he's willing to give up his emperor status to start on a new journey, even though the man that made him emperor remains. I'm going to read that emperor card for you in just a second, because this is the guy that we all want. But he's starting off on a fool's journey. Then it's a 5 of Swords. The victorious crow holds the swords of those defeated. On the surface, the victory looks positive. You know how we were talking about this. On the surface, the victory looks positive, but in the end could lead to loneliness and despair. The 5 of Swords denotes a hard-fought battle that has been won, but the cost may be the cost may end up being higher than expected. It could be the loss of friendship at the expense of being right, or conflict that will leave you feeling isolated. Right, so that's what we're talking about there, is that this emperor, I mean, to leave his situation behind doesn't come without consequence to him. Okay? So feminines, this is more kind of confirmation of the, it's cold in here. I don't know if, I have cats that can open the door, which is kind of freaky. I'm not sure. I didn't take, it's a 6 of Wands. I didn't take it only because I wasn't really channeling anything. I was just randomly thinking about the cats. So feminines, don't expect that you're just going to get married to this guy right away, you know, or be patient with him when he comes in, because he's had his butt kicked for years by this woman, by his karmic. B, leaving his situation comes at a cost. Probably a great cost. I mean, especially if this guy's got kids, got a business connection with this person. Keeping in mind that masculine and feminine doesn't necessarily mean man, woman. Take this how it resonates. Okay? So, yeah. So, because I'm like, what's the advice for feminine? Have some temperance, right? Oh, Spirit just said, help to fill his cup. Right now. You're the stronger one. Right now. Okay, Queen of Wands. I am freezing though. I guess it's keeping me perky. And you know what? I'm feeling better since I started doing my reading with you. So, see, you're healing to me. What was that? Hierophant kind of tried to show itself to me. Okay, well, what's going on with Queen of Wands? What's going on with the feminine? So she's feeling like she's not sure. Hanged Man. Okay? I mean, this is all happening so quickly. All too fast. Because we got this Chariot here. What's going on? Tell us a little bit about the feminine here in this lover situation. A lot of information about the masculine. Oh. Okay, so Ace of Wands. It's like happening quickly, but okay, these all came out, but they came out like, oh, okay, all right, okay. Now, see, this is where I'm like, do I take the whole pile? Like, that's a lot. And then I look at them and it's like, and then, oh yeah, okay. And then they'll say, no, look at the bottom of the deck. And then they'll say, because then I think, well, no, because that's even more. And then they'd say, well, look at all this guy has. It's just that her stuff has come out all of a sudden. Okay, so Ace of Wands. She's the Queen of Wands, by the way, right? So she's starting out. Holy smokes. No, I just want to check. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's right. Okay. It's a little bit harder when they all come out at once. In a way, and yet it's not. Oh. So. Oh. All of a sudden I feel so tired. Okay. So she's starting off. Also, like, this is going to be new for her. Okay. She is aware that this is a 10 of Pentacles situation with the Emperor. Oh, shit. Yeah, okay. So she needs to get her mind straight. She also is not ready to just jump in to, a situation. They're going to need time to, even though this has been something that, the masculine and the divine masculine, divine feminine have been aching for, hoping for. How is this going to happen? That's impossible. I can't do this. Whatever, the whole bit. When it actually happens, then you're both like, holy shit though. Right? Like, that's a lot of changes all of a sudden. And I actually didn't expect that this was going to happen. I mean, it's one thing to hope. It's another thing when it actually happens. So the feminine too, you're going to need a little bit of time, which is fine. So you're both like in a situation where you need some time. The feminine is more astute, more aware of what is going on. I'm just going to look up and see, because sometimes you have different meanings. Yeah, okay. So she's the strong one. But she has been, I mean, if this is the same feminine that we've been following through, she has been single all along, while this guy has not been. So she is strong. The Ace of Swords brings dynamic raw energy for those who have the mental and physical strength it offers, because this guy is pooped, right? Like, he's licking his wounds still. She is strong. The Ace of physical strength offers power that will quickly break through any barrier. The Ace of Swords card represents a time of ideas, problem solving, and quick-mindedness. Whether you are arguing for a cause or answering questions during a job interview, you will feel prepared to articulate your position with passion and purpose. So you will be the guide that this guy needs. It's this feminine energy. Now the Moon card, I mean, you can look at the Moon card and automatically say, well, that is like hidden truths and darkness and whatever. It's like, sister. This is a strongly feminine card. We were talking about, interesting. Okay. Sorry, Spirit just brought my attention back to the Oracle cards. Anyways, and ceremony. Where was I now? Oh, yeah. Sorry. It's hard to do these sometimes when you've got a bunch of stuff going on in your head. But the Moon, in First Nations culture, the Moon is very strong. It is in a lot of cultures. Women, in First Nations culture, when women are having their periods, it's called their moon time. And they're not allowed in ceremonies. And it's not because of anything sexist or whatever. It's because it's believed that those women have such incredible power during their moon time. And they're so connected to spirit that it takes away from the ceremony itself. Ceremony. Okay. Oh, okay. So this reading to me right now seems more directed towards the divine feminine. Saying, okay, we've had the volatility. Like, you know, you've had the tower there. Oh, yeah, and there's the tower. Okay. So all of a sudden, this guy has left. But, I mean, there's consequences for him. And, you know, AKA you, as you're together. You need to shapeshift. You need to kind of change gears. Because you're a little bit like, holy shit. And you're both going to need some time, you know, in your separate corners. Like, to not just move in together. To form this relationship. To shapeshift. To, you know, get your guidance from spirit. And to change, make the changes that you need that are good for you to make this work, right? Like, if this woman has been kind of a Nine of Pentacles woman, independent, Queen of Wands, like creative, independent, she doesn't need no man, she wants a man, you know, like that whole thing. And he has been used to living in an abusive situation, a horrible situation that he's a final escape from. And now you come together, things are going to be different. You're going to be different people together. Ultimately, you'll be better people. You'll bring out the best in each other. Okay? But things are going to happen kind of quickly because, I mean, with your guidance and help, he's going to lick his wounds here for a little bit. But, you know, you're going to be able to say, you know what, we're going to get through this together, right? And, you know, create that energy. There's a wedding, right? There's that Four of Wands, like, you know. And guess who you become when you're with him? You bring out the Emperor in him. He brings out the Empress in you. It's time. It's time for these soulmates to get together. See the heart between them? I love this card. This is the first one we got out today. Okay. Spirit says that's it. Bada ding, bada boom, bada bing, bada boom, whatever. We're done. Have an excellent day. Bye.